Reclaiming Timeless Ways, another episode underway. Mike Traster, Simon Fuller, glad to have you with us. Mike,
Yes.
we're back at it. What's
We
the
are.
episode title for today?
Well, I have 12 of them or so, but I don't know. We might as well just do this one first. This is going to be somewhat outrageous. It's going to be critical, comical, tragic, sad, and I want to add a little bit of respect in there because these guys have a hard job.
Yeah.
Okay? It's called The Police Chief's Nervous Breakdown.
Okay.
Okay?
So story basically is what you're going to tell me? Is that what
I'm going to create a story, but it's going to be is a weave of many people and many things that I'm aware of, past and present, and just make a kind of a composite.
Okay.
Okay? So it's not anybody in particular, but it's a lot of people.
Sure. All meshed into this character.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So Officer Bob has risen over a series of years to become the police chief. Experience, merit, and everybody else took one step backward, and he stood still, so he looked like he was taking a step forward, and he got the job.
Okay.
Right? And so let's say that was 12 years ago or so, or 20, whatever. And he gets a visit one day from the mayor. The mayor says, "You like your job?" "Well, yeah, I do. I like my job." And he says, "Well, good. We want you to be able to keep it." "Excuse me? What do you mean by that?" And he goes, "Well, you know, we run a town here." He goes, "I'm aware of that. And I know you have real issues, things you have to take care of, but we also have an image to protect. And the city council has been in touch with me to remind you of that." "Okay, what does that mean?" So the business association, the Better Business Bureau, was in touch with the city council, and they got in touch with me, and now I'm getting in touch with you. The chief looks at him and he says, "What you're saying is shit runs downhill continually, isn't it?" He goes, "You could say that. So I want you to have job security. So the Better Business Bureau has reminded everyone else, as the shit rolls downhill, that if we have really bad crime statistics here, if they're going up instead of down, our real estate values go down. Our tax revenues go down, and we suffer. Therefore, we want fewer arrests." And the police chief looks at him and he almost says what he's thinking, which is, "You fucking worthless piece of shit. I'm here to protect the public." And he goes, and he holds it in. And he can feel his gut churning in a way that it's never churned before. And he says, "Well, what do you want me to do?" He said, "I want you to use your own best judgment, but we want good numbers. So when people come and look at our town, they look at our numbers and they go, that's where we want to live. And then the money flows." The chief says, "Seriously?" And he goes home and he's shaking his head and he looks at his wife and he says, "I don't know if I should have taken this job." And she's like happy because he got a raise.
Yeah.
A good raise. She's like, "What do you mean? We just bought a new car." "What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?" Right? She's counting the money. And she's really not all that concerned about his well-being. He's a big, strapping, strong draft horse, and he's pulling a massive money cart. And that they've got all kinds of dreams. More her dreams than his, to be perfectly frank. But he goes along because he likes to make peace. And he notices every now and then that he seems to make peace too much. Oh, this goes on for years, and he keeps going along to get along, and he develops hypertension and an ulcer, and he puts on 48 pounds. And he starts talking to his pastor, but he's very careful, so he doesn't really talk about what's bothering him. He doesn't talk about the fact that his wife's always hanging the Damoclean sword of divorce and half over his head. And he's been drinking a little and a little more and a little more and a little more, and he's a drunk. He's a highly functional drunk, but he's a drunk. And it's having an effect on his liver enzymes. So he's not healthy anymore. And he's depressed. And one night he goes out, he's the chief, and he gets plowed. And he drives home, and it's a rainy night, and he gets pulled over by a local cop. And the cop's like, oh shit. So he calls up another buddy of his, and he goes, look, we got to clean this mess up. We can't arrest the chief for drunken driving. So they're doing the same thing, right? And they don't know how many times he's driven drunk, but the statistic is that when a drunk driver gets caught, he's not gotten caught 99 times. So the chief is dangerous to others and to himself. And finally, he loses his shit, and he winds up hospitalized. And nothing changes. And all this shit that went rolling downhill and ruined this man started with the Better Business Bureau and the realtors who wanted double-digit inflation, and the city council who takes their orders very well, and the mayor who takes his orders because he doesn't want somebody new taking his job that he's invested in. And
So everybody gives a little, and it turns into a big problem.
yeah,
And I mean, you could plug that story into a lot of scenarios, Mike. I
Yes.
see where you were going with that. That's a lot of people. That's just one analogy, really.
right.
That could happen in my business life, from me
Right.
to the person that
Right.
I answer to, which could be the bank or the FCC, and somebody answers to
So when
me.
your neighbor hits your dog in the head with a shovel and the dog recovers, but the life is shortened by 4 years, and the dog is never really the same, and the cops won't do anything because they, quote, didn't witness it. That's one example of maybe one a day for every day for thousands of days.
Yeah.
And so the statistics, of course, that started at the top of Mount Bullshit and flowed all the way down from all of these bad players, players who do bad things for bottom lines.
And each one of them thinking, well, I'm just giving a little,
Right.
a little.
Right. But
And
I'm
it just
getting a lot,
compounds.
but I'm
And-
getting a lot.
Right.
You know, because we don't want that house to be worth $500 more next year. We want it to be worth $9,000 more. We want some super inflation in house values, because people are gonna go, oh, I'm gonna move in there with my happy family, and maybe we'll start our new factory. That sounds like an ideal place, because the statistics that they got from the whole terrorist cycle of liars and lies were lies. And so they bring their family in, and they have a less than spectacular life in Happy Town. And that's that whole story.
All right.
Meanwhile, the chief is no longer a healthy or a happy man, and his future is somewhat grim.
For him and potentially others that are impacted by him.
Yeah, right.
Both community, wife, and himself.
His kids, they are all suffering because of this cascade of greed and bullshit. And that's very sad.
Yeah. So that wraps up that one, Mike.
Yes.
And of course, Reclaiming Timeless Ways. We thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again on another episode real soon. Have a great day.